This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. Today the topic of discussion is brainstem and its clinical significance. So in the previous class, we have discussed about the blood supply to the brain, right? Circle of Willis, ACA territory, ICA territory, and vertebrobasilar artery territory. Can anyone tell me the branches of internal carotid artery? Previous class discussion. Branches of internal carotid artery. Please, someone. Please memorize the branches of internal carotid artery.
Anterior cerebral, middle cerebral.
Okay.
Anterior choroidal artery.
Okay.
Posterior communicating.
Posterior communicating artery and ophthalmic artery. Okay. What are the branches of ACA? Anterior cerebral artery. Branches of anterior cerebral artery. Okay. So today we are going to discuss the brainstem, anatomy of the brainstem. Actually, anatomy should be discussed in the first year, and you have completed your first year anatomy. So based on this anatomy, we will go to we will diagnose how the stroke syndromes and what is the clinical presentation. If you know the anatomy, we can diagnose the stroke syndromes based on the clinical features, right? So coming to the brainstem, brainstem is a stalk-like portion of brain which connects the spinal cord with forebrain, right? What are the parts of brainstem? Parts of brainstem: midbrain, pons, medulla oblongata. It is located in the posterior cranial fossa. Posteriorly, pons and medulla separated from the cerebellum by the cavity of fourth ventricle, right? See, this PPT, all the images are from B.D. Chaurasia, Vishram Singh, and Harrison. Okay, so this is a standard PPT I have prepared. So please concentrate on the PPT. Please concentrate for this class, right? And maximum every image in this PPT is a question asked in your NEET entrance examination, right? Every image in the PPT was asked in your NEET entrance examination and will be asked in your NEET entrance examination, right? So please concentrate. So this is the ventral aspect of the brainstem. ఈ కర్సర్ చూడగలుగుతున్నారా? Pointer చూడగలుగుతున్నారా? Okay. So this is midbrain, this is pons, this is medulla. Okay. So this is the ventral aspect of the brainstem. Ventral means anterior posterior. See, if you take this is the brainstem. So if you take this is the brainstem, right? So this is the anterior. So ventral aspect of the brainstem. Now I am showing you the ventral aspect of the brainstem, right? So ventral aspect of the brainstem, midbrain, pons, medulla oblongata, right? So this is oculomotor nerve. Okay. Oculomotor nerve చూస్తున్నారు అందరూ? This is oculomotor nerve, this is trochlear nerve. This is at the level of midbrain. Okay. This is substantia nigra. Substantia nigra is the part of midbrain. See, substantia nigra is the ventral aspect of the midbrain. So if this is midbrain, okay, this is total is brainstem. If this is midbrain, in that ventral aspect, this is substantia nigra, and here will be tectum, here will be tegmentum. The dorsal most part of the midbrain is tegmentum, right? అర్థమవుతుందా? Okay, I will show you the image. So this is substantia nigra, this is crus cerebri, and this is pons. Middle cerebellar peduncle connects pons with which structure? Previous class we discussed middle cerebellum. Cerebellum, right? Cerebellum. So what are the contents of what are the cranial nerve? Cranial nerve content in the midbrain is third and fourth nerve, right? Third and fourth nerve are midbrain. Fifth nerve is pons. Fifth nerve is pons. Sixth, 7, 8 are pontomedullary junction. Okay, right? Sixth, 7th, and 8th are pontomedullary junction. Okay. And 9, 10, 11, 12 are medulla. Lateral part of the medulla are occupied by 9, 10, 11. 12th cranial nerve is medial part. Okay. So lateral medulla 9, 10, 11. Medial medulla hypoglossal. Okay. 12th nerve. So this is the ventral aspect. So this is the dorsal aspect of the brainstem. Ventral aspect is now I discussed the anterior part. Now dorsal aspect, posterior part. Posterior part, level of superior colliculus. See, superior colliculus, inferior colliculus. Okay, this is pons, this is medulla. So this is dorsal aspect of the brainstem, longitudinal section. So this, see, if this is the brainstem, right? This is the brainstem. Previously I shown you the ventral aspect. So previously I've shown you the anterior part, ventral aspect of the brainstem. Now I'm showing the posterior, dorsal aspect of the brainstem. Okay. If you take the transverse section, this is the transverse section. If this is the brainstem, right? So this will be the transverse section. Transverse section I will be showing next images. Transverse section at the level of superior colliculus, at the level of inferior colliculus. See, if you take transverse section, superior colliculus, at the level of superior colliculus, you will be having third cranial nerve. At the level of inferior colliculus, you will be having the fourth cranial nerve, right? అర్థమవుతుందా?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So this is the thing. This is the optic nerve, this is the optic chiasma. So this is oculomotor nerve, this is trochlear nerve. See, why I have focused this image is that they have asked this mammillary body, right? They have asked this mammillary body, they label this mammillary body as B, posterior perforated substance as C, and this infundibulum as A. Okay, this infundibulum as A, mammillary body as B, posterior perforated substance as C, and this oculomotor nerve with D. And they have given one question about the function of perforated substance, and this function is performed by which of the following structure. They have given this image and they have asked this function of this is performed by which structure. So the answer will be C, like that. So posterior perforated substance. So remember, this is the posterior perforated substance, this is a mammillary body. So don't forget this infundibulum, mammillary body, and posterior perforated substance. Commonly asked question, definitely 2022-23 also they will be asking this diagram. Okay. So, and motor root and sensory root of trigeminal nerve. This is the motor sensory root of facial nerve. Okay, 6, 7, 8 are pontomedullary junction. Remember, 6, 7, 8 are pontomedullary junction. Hypoglossal. See here, hypoglossal. Hypoglossal is medial. 9, 10, 11 are lateral. Okay. Following 9, 10, 11. 9, 10, 11. 9, 10, 11 are lateral. 9, 10. 9 is glossopharyngeal. 10 is vagus nerve, accessory, spinal accessory nerve. These are lateral. 12 is hypoglossal. Okay, so in that lateral medullary syndrome, in lateral medullary syndrome, what are the cranial nerves involved is 9, 10, 11. 9, 10, 11. Okay, అర్థమవుతుందా? See, this is the lateral part of the medulla, this is the medial medulla. So medial medulla, 12th cranial nerve is there, lateral medulla, 9th nerve is there, 10th nerve is there, 11th nerve is there, glossopharyngeal nerve, vagus nerve, and spinal accessory nerve. So 9, 10, 11 cranial nerves are involved in lateral medullary syndrome. What is the arterial territory affected in lateral medullary syndrome? In the previous class we have discussed. Roll number 73. What is the arterial territory in the lateral medullary syndrome? See, you should revise the class అయిపోయినాక వెంటనే పక్కాగా అట్లీస్ట్ you should revise the basic key points, otherwise you will not remember. And this neuroanatomy is very difficult, right? If you know neuroanatomy, you will be knowing everything in CNS. So CNS లో మొత్తం వస్తే CNS diagnosis ఈజీగా పెట్టొచ్చు, mainly stroke syndromes. So neuroanatomy is very important. So you should revise. What are the branches of vertebral artery? One main branch of vertebral artery.
Posterior inferior cerebellar artery.
Cerebellar artery. So vertebral artery is most commonly involved in lateral medullary. Lateral medullary is supplied by vertebral artery as well as posterior inferior cerebellar artery. If it okay, so most common affected artery, most common supplying blood vessel supplying to lateral part of the medulla is vertebral artery. So lateral medullary syndrome, which artery territory is affected? Vertebral artery is greater than posterior inferior cerebellar artery. Vertebral artery choice is not given, then you go for posterior inferior cerebellar artery, right? Okay. So this question I have framed based on the previous session, what we have discussed. Please answer this question. Who answer this question will get a chocolate. Not now, when you come here, right? A 52-year male patient presented with right-sided weakness, tremors with ataxia. What is the diagnosis? Please try. Please answer. What are the midbrain syndromes?
Lourdes syndrome, sir.
Claudius.
Claudius? This answer is not Claudius, right? This is not Claudius. What are the midbrain syndromes? Please tell me the names of midbrain syndrome.
Global.
Turning the pages. Okay, okay, fine. Okay, at least see and tell. Please tell. Please tell what are midbrain syndromes? Names of midbrain syndromes. I have given you the mnemonic also. No W.
Weber's.
And for okay, at least see and tell the syndromes here. Wow. "52-year male patient presented with right-sided weakness, tremors with ataxia. What is the diagnosis? What is the answer? అట్లీస్ట్ ఏదో ఒక ఆన్సర్ చెప్పండి. 4లో ఈ 4 ఏదో ఒక ఆన్సర్ చెప్పండి. See, I will not go to the other side if you don't tell the answer. At least you should speak now.
The Weber's.
Weber's. What happens in Weber's?
Third nerve.
Weber's. Third nerve palsy with hemiplegia. Contralateral hemiplegia with ipsilateral third cranial nerve palsy. Okay, here I have given right-sided weakness. That means right upper limb weakness and right lower limb weakness. So hemiparesis is there, right? But with ataxia is there. Tremors with ataxia is there. So in Weber syndrome, you will not see tremors and ataxia, right? Tremors is due to involvement of what nuclei? On red color nuclei, I have shown you there. Red nucleus. So tremors is due to the involvement of red nucleus. See, I have focused you the image. Don't tell that చెప్పలేదని మాత్రం చెప్పకండి. ఎందుకంటే మిడ్ బ్రెయిన్ స్ట్రక్చర్ చూపించి I have focused you red nucleus, third cranial nerve, fascicles, as well as the cerebellar peduncles, right? So involvement of red nucleus leads to tremors. Ataxia is due to restiform body. Can be also due to cerebellar peduncle. What is the cerebellar peduncle that connects the midbrain and cerebellum? What is the cerebellar peduncle that connects the midbrain and cerebellum? Simple question.
Superior cerebellum.
So right-sided weakness, tremors with ataxia. In Weber syndrome, only third cranial nerve palsy with some corticospinal tract involvement will be there. So only hemiparesis with third cranial nerve palsy will be there. Here I didn't give the third cranial nerve palsy. Why? Because in all the 4 syndromes, third cranial nerve palsy is present. So I didn't give third cranial nerve palsy. So right-sided weakness is present in Weber syndrome, Claudius syndrome, Mendel syndrome, not right-sided weakness. Weakness is present in Weber syndrome, Claudius syndrome, Mendel syndrome. Okay. So right-sided weakness, tremors and ataxia. In Claudius syndrome, only tremors is present. No ataxia will be there. In Bendit's, weakness, tremors plus ataxia will be there. Okay. In Nothnagal syndrome, only third cranial oculomotor paresis will be there. No weakness will be there. Weakness is not that much predominant in case of Nothnagal syndrome. So the answer for this is what? Option
C.
Option C. Okay, thank you. Okay, those who answer this question will definitely get NEET and not NEET entrance, AIMS entrance examination, AIMS seat in your first entrance, first time only. Please try. This is AIMS MCQ actually. AIMS mimic, not AIMS MCQ. This is an AIMS mimic. And same mimic, same question I have focused you while discussing the PPRF and MLF. I have given this question actually. PPRF, MLF, 1.5 syndrome, and that I have discussed in the month of before lockdown. I have discussed you parapont and reticular formation and middle MLF. one and off syndrome, and see if the right pons is affected or right medulla oblongata, right midbrain is affected, then the deviation of eyes to right side due to the involvement of the gaze center, and weakness is due to weakness in the same side. We have discussed this thing actually. What is the horizontal gaze center? Frontal eye field. Okay, okay. I know you will not remember those things. Okay, at least answer this question. A 68-year male patient presented with sudden onset diplopia, right-sided facial nerve palsy involving both upper and lower part of the face, and left-sided hemiparesis. Where is the lesion? Anyone? Okay, I and at least throw a stone on the answer, not on me.
Pons.
Right pons.
Right pons.
Pons. Right pons.
Right pons. Why? Why right pons? Why right pons? Stone or with concept? స్టోన్ రాయేసారా లేకపోతే నిజంగా ఆలోచించే రైట్ పాన్స్ అని చెప్పారా? See, why I have given this sudden onset diplopia. See, if sudden onset, there is sudden onset means, remember, vascular territory is involved. Sudden onset means vasculature, vascular territory. If it is gradual in onset, it may be some demyelinating diseases. Okay, sudden onset is vascular. So right-sided facial nerve palsy involving both upper and lower part of the face, both upper and lower part of the face. That means upper part and lower part of the face. That means element type of facial palsy. Sudden onset diplopia. Diplopia is due to which cranial nerve lesions? Diplopia is due to which cranial nerve lesion? It can be cranial nerve 4, it can be cranial nerve 6. Okay. So trochlear nerve can also cause vertical diplopia. Okay. Horizontal diplopia, 6th cranial nerve lesions. So sudden onset diplopia. Here, sudden onset is vascular, 1 point. Diplopia can be 4, can be 6. So we didn't get the diagnosis. Right-sided facial nerve palsy. So facial nerve is in which facial nerve is the facial nerve is in midbrain, pons or medulla? Facial nerve ఎక్కడ ఉంది ఇప్పుడే చెప్పండి.
Frontomedullary.
Pons. So left side hemiparesis. This hemiparesis is due to the corticospinal tract. So why left side hemiparesis? See, corticospinal tract decussate in which part of the medulla? Corticospinal tract అనేది cerebral cortex. Okay, layer 5 bed cells, layer 5 of cerebral cortex నుంచి వచ్చి internal capsule నుంచి పాస్ అయ్యి మిడ్ బ్రెయిన్, పాన్స్, మెడుల్లాలో వచ్చి లోవర్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద మెడుల్లో డెక్యూసియేట్ అయ్యేసి స్పైనల్ కార్డ్కి వెళ్ళి అక్కడి నుంచి మజిల్, ఇదంతా లోవర్ మోటార్ న్యూరాన్. ఓకేనా? సో ఇప్పుడు లెఫ్ట్ సైడెడ్ హెమిపారెసిస్ ఉంటుంది. లెఫ్ట్ సైడెడ్ హెమిపారెసిస్ అంటే దాని అర్థం ఏంటి? రైట్ సైడ్ ఎఫెక్ట్ అయినట్టు. బిలో ద లోవర్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద మెడుల్లో అయితే సేమ్ సైడ్, అబౌవ్ ద లోవర్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద మెడుల్లో అంటే ఆపోజిట్ సైడ్. సో లెఫ్ట్ సైడెడ్ హెమిపారెసిస్ కాబట్టి రైట్ సైడెడ్ లీషన్ ఉండింది, ఇది షోర్. సడన్ ఆన్సెట్ కాబట్టి vascular territory. Diplopia 4th or 6th nerve. So 4 or 6, 4 అంటే mid brain, 6 అంటే pons. If 4 is 4 అంటే mid brain, 6 అంటే pons. So we should rule out this diplopia is due to 4th nerve or 6th nerve. But right side facial nerve palsy. Facial nerve means 7th means pons. So if this is pons and this is right side and pons who have diagnosed, but this diplopia is due to 4th or 6th, we don't know. But as this is facial nerve palsy, this is 7, definitely this will be 6th nerve. So 6th nerve, 7th nerve in the pons, and left side hemiparesis, that is due to opposite side. So right pons is the answer. Advainda? Any doubts?
Yes, sir.
Doubts? You have doubt? Okay. So thrombosis of anterior cerebral artery distal to the communicating branch leads to JIPMER 2019 question. Thrombosis of anterior cerebral artery distal to communicating branch. Only 4 questions are given for this class, and these 4 questions are based on the previous session class. Just to memorize the things, I have placed these 4 questions. Okay. So thrombosis of anterior cerebral artery distal to the communicating branch leads to what? Simple answer, simple question, but given in JIPMER, not in NEET. See, contralateral hemiparesis, what I have said, involvement of corticospinal tract, and that is due to corticospinal tract, and that is due to M1 division. Okay, and thrombosis of anterocellular artery distal to the communicating branch. Distal to the communicating branch is what segment? A2 segment. A2 segment is which segment? Vertical or horizontal segment? Not revising the previous class. Distal to the communicating branch. See, pre-communal segment I have done. So this is the anterior communicating artery. This is the horizontal. This is the vertical I have told. This is the anterior communicating artery I have told. And this is the anterocerebral artery I told. This is the horizontal segment. This will be the vertical segment. So if this vertical segment is affected, the urinary incontinence will be there. Wernicke's FSA is due to the M2 division, middle cerebral artery. Ipsilateral hemiparesis, contralateral hemiparesis, there may be involvement of the middle cerebral artery. Classical hemiplegia. So urinary incontinence will be the answer. This is my own question. Please try to answer this. A patient presented with Wernicke's FSA, what is the vasculature affected and area number affected? Anyone?
M2, sir.
M2 division.
B.
Okay. The area number 22 is correct or wrong? Anyone who wants to answer none of the above for this question?
None of the above.
Anyone wants to answer that? Wants to answer none of the above for this question? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes. What's your name? See, none of the above is the confusing option. Never there will be none of the above for any answer. If none of the above is there, why the examiner should prepare 3 options for that question, right? Please think like that. None of the above is very rare, and that PGI Chandigarh, those people will give this none of the above questions very rarely. That too very rarely. None of the above is only the confusing option, right? If none of the above is the answer, then why the examiner should prepare the question? Why giving 3 options? See, a patient presented with Wernicke's FSA. Wernicke's FSA is the area affected is Wernicke's area, right? So Wernicke's area is supplied by which division? Wernicke's area is posterior, superior temporal gyrus, right? Yeah. Superior temporal gyrus is supplied by which division? M2 division, right? So M2 division. So what is the vascular artery affected is M2. So what is the area number for Wernicke's area? Area number is 22. Only one option. B option is correct. I think one answer this question. Very good. So area number is 22. What is area? What is Broca's area? See, if the patient presented with aphasia, if I will be giving, yeah, the answer will be M1. If the patient presented with Broca's aphasia, if the question given is if the patient presented with Broca's aphasia, what is the vascular artery affected and area number affected, then the answer will be M1, area number 44, 45. See, what is this option then? So I have given M1 area number 44, 45. This is on the basis of Broca's aphasia, and this M2 area number 22 is Wernicke's aphasia, right? This is sensory aphasia and this is motor aphasia. So this is supplied by M1 division, this is supplied by M2 division. Okay, very good, fine. None of the above is the option eliminated, definitely. And why this A1 area number 8? What is this A1 area number 8? Area number 8 is what? Area number 8 is for frontal eye field. Okay. Frontal eye field. Area number 8 is frontal eye field. A1 is anterocerebral artery. So area number 8 is frontal eye field. So if this frontal eye field is affected, then you may get urinary incontinence. Okay, right? And some gaze palsy. Why? Because see, gaze palsy. I have discussed this. You should remember that. Gaze frontal eye field, from frontal eye field, the fibers pass down to the PPRF, MLF, opposite MLF. Then this frontal eye field is the center for horizontal gaze. If left frontal eye field is impaired, if there is a lesion in the left frontal eye field, then what happens? You are unable to see one side. You can't see one side because this is the center for horizontal gaze. Horizontal gaze palsy will be there. Area number 8 is affected. Okay, so this is the dorsal aspect of the brainstem we have discussed already. Okay, So urinary incontinence, right? Pons, and we have discussed everything. Okay. So in this, now we are coming to medulla oblongata. Actually, first we will discuss today. We will discuss only medulla oblongata. Then we will go for pons in the next session. Then midbrain. Already midbrain syndromes we have discussed. Okay. So if you discuss medulla oblongata now, we'll complete some maximum part of stroke syndromes. Okay. See, last class you didn't get any doubts, na? I didn't get any mailer and I didn't get any query, any doubt to my WhatsApp also. That means everything we have ప్రతిదీ మొత్తం అంతా అర్థమైంది అనమాట మీకు. ఒక్కరు కూడా ఎవరు కూడా డౌట్ అడగల. నో రివ్యూస్ ఆల్సో. What are the branches of basilar artery? Branches of basilar artery. In the last class I given you last class five questions ఇచ్చా. మోటార్ హోమోనిలికస్ ఒకటి, branches of internal carotid artery, vertebral artery, basilar artery, visual pathway defects. Visual pathway defects ఎవరైనా చదివారా, చూసారా? So medulla oblongata. So this is A, okay, this is B, this is C. So which is medulla oblongata, A, B or C? See, this is A. Cursor కనిపిస్తుందా కంప్యూటర్ లో? This is A, this is B, this is C. medulla oblongata A structure, A na, B na, C na?
C, sir.
C, sir.
Medulla.
Sir.
Medulla is the most inferior region of the brainstem. Becomes a spinal cord at the level of foramen magnum. Medulla is broad above, joins with the pons, and narrow below, continues with the spinal cord. Length is about 3 centimeters. Width is about 2 centimeters at its upper end. It has two surfaces, that is anterior posterior, and two fissures, anterior median fissure and posterior median fissure. Homework for the next session. Please take screenshot. Image screenshot తీసుకొని నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ కి 1 to 22 స్ట్రక్చర్స్ ఏంటంటని చెప్పేసి నోట్ చేసుకోండి. And this image was after an AIMS entrance examination. AIMS entrance examination, AIMS PG. Number 15, number 20 are given. Actually 20 is asked today. Do you know 20? What is 20? Okay. So anterior surface of medulla. What are the parts of anterior surface of the medulla? Anterior median fissure, anterolateral and posterolateral sulci, pyramids, olive. Pyramid is due to this corticospinal tract. Rootlets of hypoglossal nerve. Right, hypoglossal nerve is medial. Inferior cerebellar peduncle. Inferior cerebellar peduncle connects medulla to cerebellum. Rootlets of 9, 10, 11 cranial part. That is lateral part of the medulla. Okay. So external surface of the medulla, this is the pyramid, right? This is the pyramid. Pyramid is nothing but this is the anteromedian fissure, right? This is the anteromedian fissure. So this is the elevation between the anteromedian fissure and anterolateral sulcus, right? This elevation. This elevation is the pyramid. It is formed due to the degradation of the corticospinal tract. See, corticospinal tract coming like this, the degastates like that, right? This corticospinal tract coming from midbrain here. Think there is a midbrain here, pons here, corticospinal tract coming here, degastates like this, degastates and passes contralaterally, and corticospinal tract midbrain, pons, corticospinal tract coming, degastates here. So this pyramid is due to the degradation of the corticospinal tract. Okay, this bulge is due to the degradation of the corticospinal tract. So this is olive. This is large mass of gray matter. It's produced by the large mass of gray matter called interior olivary nucleus, right? This is olive. Remember, this is a pyramid. This is olive. Okay. This is pons. Nothing important in this slide actually. Only nerves. You can the nerves 9, 10, 11 are lateral, and this 12 is medial. Okay, this is olive nucleus, right? So this is olive. This is pyramid, right? Okay. And this is spinal root of sensory nerve, right? Spinal root of sensory. Remember, this is the spinal root of sensory. Spinal root of accessory nerve. This is cranial roots. Remember this. This is the spinal. See, this is the spinal cord structure, right? కనిపిస్తుందా ఇది స్ట్రక్చర్ కనిపిస్తుందా కర్సర్ కనిపిస్తుందా
Yes, sir.
this is so this is spinal cord. The spinal cord goes spinal root of accessory nerve. So this is medulla ante brain stem ante cranium ante, so this is the cranial root of the accessory nerve, 11th nerve. So this is 11th nerve, 11th cranial part, and this is the spinal root. So spinal root of accessory nerve is one time asked actually. Okay, so remember that. So posterior surface of the medulla, lower closed part and upper open part. It consists of fasciculus gracialis, fasciculus cuneatus, inferior cerebellar peduncle. See, cuneatus. Fasciculus cuneatus is lateral side and fasciculus gracialis is medial side. Remember that. Okay, this is okay. Yeah, this was asked actually. See, this is lateral, right? This is medial. This medial nucleus gracialis. This is nucleus gracialis actually from spinal cord. This medial. So this medial is, see properly, this medial one is nucleus gracialis and this lateral one is nucleus cuneatus, right? So don't think this is nucleus cuneatus, right? So this is tuberculum cinerum. So this thing they have marked as question. Everyone marked this as the answer, but tuberculum cinerum, this is tuberculum cinerum. This is nucleus gracialis. Remember that thing. Please take screenshot. This is corticospinal tract, tectospinal tract, vibrospinal tract. Remember, this is schematic diagrams from cerebral cortex, midbrain, pons, medulla, decusating in the lower part of the medulla to spinal cord. So this is the corticospinal tract. Tectospinal tract starts in SC. What is SC? SC in the midbrain. Superior colliculus. This is a tectospinal tract. This is rubrospinal tract. Okay. See, the arrow is downwards here. Here. The arrow is down. Here the arrow is up. Means what? What do you mean by this? Down arrow, up arrow. Corticospinal tract, tectospinal tract, rubrospinal tract are what tracts? Ascending tracts or descending tracts? See, neuroanatomy is very descending tracts. Okay. Neuroanatomy, anatomy itself is very tough. Neuroanatomy is very tough. But if you read neuroanatomy properly and if you understand and if you remember, CNS will be very easy. And this NIMHANS, if anyone is interested in NIMHANS Neuro, the 6-year course, NIMHANS Neuro will be only neuro. They will be asking maximum number of neuro questions only. Neuropsychiatry, neuropharmacology, neuroanatomy, neurophysiology. Okay, everything neurology they will ask. Neuromedicine, everything neurology only. So if you prepare for NIMHANS is very tough exam actually, and they will give this type of questions only, and even you can't understand those type of questions. Proper concentration and proper focus should be there. So corticospinal, tectospinal, rubrospinal tract. Okay, these are descending tracts, and these are ascending tracts, right? Lateral spinothalamic tract, anterior spinothalamic tract. These are ascending tracts, right? Yeah, this is the thing discussing from previous class actually. Corticospinal tract. See, Corticospinal tract is the descending tract, right? Area cerebral cortex, area 4, 6, layer 5 of the cerebral cortex. This is the corticospinal tract passing through the internal capsule, right? Internal capsule. This is the midbrain, crus cerebrae, right? Midbrain, crus cerebrae. This is the pons, medulla, lower part of the medulla. This is the lower part of the medulla, decussation. See, 80% decussate. See, this red is thick. This red is very thin. Okay. Why like that? Because this is 80%, this is 20%. 80% decussiates and forms the lateral corticospinal tract. 20% does not decussiate and they form the ventral corticospinal tract, right? So this is the corticospinal tract. Layer 5 of cerebral cortex, Beck cells. Pass through internal capsule. Midbrain, crus cerebrae. Pons. Medulla, decussation, lower part of the medulla. Please remember why I am keep on speaking 2 or 3 times, because you should remember this corticospinal tract. Lower part of the medulla, decussation. Lower part of the medulla, decussation. 80%. Lateral corticospinal tract. This is ventral corticospinal tract. Okay, ventral corticospinal tract. And this from spinal cord, this is the lower motor neuron. This is upper motor neuron. This whole part is upper motor neuron. Anything before this spinal cord, anything before this spinal cord is upper motor neuron. Below that is lower motor neuron. Okay. See, no one will teach. You should know the basic anatomy. Then only they will directly teach. If you come for Watts, or if you come for Watts, then you will be teaching this cranial nerves. Actually, due to this lockdown, you are not coming for the Watts, and so your cranial nerves and this everything examination part you don't know, and you can't read now itself. If you read also, you can't understand how to examine the cranial nerves. Actually, at least 3, 4, 6, 7th cranial nerve. Please read in some standard books. Don't read in the Talagappan like that, right? Read in standard books. If you are interested in medicine, then read in some neurology standard books like Dizong, Bragis, right? So this is the posterior column medial lemniscus pathway. Okay, this is ascending, right? This is ascending. This is not descending. This is ascending. So receptors for touch and proprioception. See, the fibers are moving like this. So this is what is the lateral part? Cuneatus fasciculus. Middle part is gracialis. So remember this: lateral, cuneatus. Gracialis, medial. L is there in gracialis, so it is medial. Already one L is there, so it is not lateral. So this is gracialis, this is cuneatus, right? So this is the first order neuron. This whole is first order neuron, and in the medulla, nucleus gracialis. This is nucleus gracialis. This is nucleus cuneatus. This is the form the second order neuron, and this is the thalamus, third order neuron, cerebral cortex. So somatosensory area. What is sensory cortex? Area number sensory cortex. See, area number 8 is frontal eye field, right? Area number 4 is premotor area. Area number 3.1 is sensory area. Area number 3.1 is sensory area. Primary sensory. Okay, so area number is 312. Area number is 312. Remember, area number is 312. This third order neuron, second order, first order. So first order, second order, third order. They will give this image and they will focus which order neuron is that. Okay, they will ask many questions. This is basically this is nucleus gracialis, this is nucleus cuneatus. Adhamatunda? See, this class is for how to crack entrance examination and to understand the concepts in neurology, neuroanatomy, neurology, general medicine, right? Neuroanatomy, general medicine, neurology, right? And you should diagnose the syndromes, stroke syndromes, hemiplegia, and you should able to focus. You should able to under diagnosis. A anatomical location lo diagnosis పెట్టగలగాలి. కేస్ ప్రెజెంటేషన్, ఫైనల్ ఎగ్జామ్, జనరల్ మెడిసిన్ చెప్పేటప్పుడు, హెమిప్లీజియా చెప్పేటప్పుడు లీజన్ ఎక్కడ ఉందని అడుగుతారు. సో లీజన్ మనం పెట్టగలగాలి అంటే, క్లినికల్ ఫీచర్స్ తో పెట్టగలగాలి అంటే, యూ షుడ్ నో ద బేసిక్ న్యూరో anatomy, right? So this is spinothalamic tract. See, spinothalamic tract. See, fibers from the receptor touch, pain and temperature, main pain and temperature, first order neuron. See here, this is crossing to the opposite side. Remember, this is crossing to the opposite side. This is not going ipsilaterally. Okay, see what happens in Brown-Sequard syndrome. See, Brown-Sequard syndrome is, if you take, this is the transverse section of spinal cord. Okay, in this transverse section, this part, this whole ipsilateral part is affected, or any infarct in this ipsilateral part. So what happens here? There is a here there will be corticospinal tract also. Here there is also lateral spinal tract. So lateral spinal tract, see this structure will be also there in this side. So here if lateral spinal tract is if this horn, this dorsal horn is affected here, if this dorsal horn is affected here, then this corticospinal, okay, remember this side only. Okay, if this side is affected, this is passing to this side. If this side is affected, contralateral lateral spinothalamic tract is affected. So contralateral pain and temperature are lost with ipsilateral corticospinal tract. Corticospinal tract has already decussed in the lower part of the medulla. This is the spinal cord. If here corticospinal tract is affected, ipsilateral paralysis only will be there, but this lateral spinal ipsilateral paralysis will be there. Keep it aside. Other than that, ipsilaterally position and vibration sense. Here this is the posterior column, right? Posterior column will be here. This is the posterior column. If the posterior column is affected, position and vibration sense are lost. Ipsilateral position and vibration sense, contralateral pain and temperature are lost. That is the Brown-Sequard syndrome. First year the Brown-Sequard syndrome, contralateral pain and temperature, ipsilateral position vibration, ipsilateral position vibration. So this is due to the involvement of lateral spinal tract and posterior column. Posterior column affected, position vibration sense, lateral spinothalamic tract affected, pain and temperature. అర్థమవుతుందా? ఏమైనా అర్థమైంది స్లైడ్ లో? Brown-Sequard syndrome, spinothalamic tract. Very few people are leaving. ఏం అర్థం కాక మీటింగ్ లీవ్ వెళ్ళిపోతున్నారేమో, నాకు అది తెలియట్లా. అర్థమవుతుందో అర్థం కాలేదా? అట్లీస్ట్ ఒక్కరు చెప్పండి. అర్థమవుతుందా లేదా? అర్థం కాకపోతే అర్థం కాలేదని చెప్పండి, మళ్ళీ చెప్తా కావాలంటే. So this is the spinothalamic tract, right? Remember spinothalamic, spinocerebellar will discuss of course, right? And this slide, cranial nerve nuclei arrangement and classification. If you go through NEET questions, NEET entrance examination questions or DNB, పక్కాగా ఈ స్లైడ్ నుంచి పక్కాగా క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉంటాయి. అసలు ఏ ఎగ్జామ్కి వెళ్ళినా ఈ స్లైడ్ నుంచి క్వశ్చన్ లేకపోతే ఎగ్జామే ఉండదు. 100% మినిమం 1 క్వశ్చన్ ఉంటుంది ఈ స్లైడ్ నుంచి. ప్రస్తుతానికి మీరు ఈ న్యూక్లియస్, ఇది స్క్రీన్ షాట్ తీసుకొని పెట్టుకోండి అంతే. ఈ న్యూక్లియస్ ఒకటి గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, 1 2 3 4 అంటే ఎన్ని నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ న్యూక్లియస్, సోమాటిక్ ఎఫరెంట్, స్పెషల్ విజరల్ ఎఫరెంట్, జనరల్ విజరల్ ఎఫరెంట్. ఈ స్లైడ్స్ అన్ని మళ్ళీ చెప్తాం మీకు. ఇప్పుడు చెప్తే అసలు ఏ అర్థం కాదు మీకు. మిడ్ బ్రెయిన్ లో ఇదిగో ఈ థర్డ్ క్రేనియల్ నర్వ్ న్యూక్లియర్ ఒకటి ఉండింది, ఫోర్త్ క్రేనియల్ నర్వ్ న్యూక్లియర్ ఉండింది, 9th క్రేనియల్ నర్వ్ వచ్చేసరికి ఇక్కడ న్యూక్లియర్ ఉండింది, ఇక్కడ కూడా ఉండింది, 10th క్రేనియల్ నర్వ్ ఇక్కడ ఉండింది, ఇక్కడ ఉండింది. సో ఈ న్యూక్లియస్ ఎక్కడెక్కడ ఉన్నాయి ఇలానే క్వశ్చన్స్ అడుగుతారు. బట్ వాట్ ఇస్ దిస్ సోమాటిక్ ఎఫరెంట్, స్పెషల్ విజరల్ ఎఫరెంట్, జీవీఈ, జీబీఏ, ఎస్వీఏ, ఇవన్నీ కూడా మనం డిస్కస్ చేద్దాం. Vestibular anatomy, vestibular pathway, no need now. So this part we have discussed. Okay, you please remember the spinal from medulla, the spinal nucleus and tract of trigeminal nerve. See, medulla nunchi 5th cranial nerve, chief sensory nucleus, mesencephalic nucleus and spinal nucleus of 5th trigeminal nerve. 3 nucleus untadi. Chief sensory, mesencephalic nucleus, spinal tract sensory, spinal tract nucleus అన్నమాట. 5th cranial nerve కి 3 టైప్ ఆఫ్ న్యూక్లియస్ ఉంటుంది. మిడ్ బ్రెయిన్ పాన్స్, యాక్చువల్లీ 5th cranial nerve అందులో ఉంటుంది అనుకున్నాం మనం, పాన్స్ లో ఉంటుంది 5th cranial nerve అని అనుకుంటాం. బట్ న్యూక్లియై అనేది వేరు. న్యూక్లియై వచ్చేసరికి మిడ్ బ్రెయిన్, పాన్స్, మెడుల్లా మూడిట్లో కూడా ఉంటుంది అనమాట. స్పైనల్ ట్రాక్ట్, 5th cranial nerve, ట్రైజెమినల్ న్యూక్లియస్, ఇది అనేది మెడుల్లా నుంచి పాస్ అవుతుంది. అది గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, significance చెప్తుంది. స్పైనల్ న్యూక్లియస్ అండ్ ట్రాక్ట్ ఆఫ్ క్రేనియల్ నర్వ్ 5th. ఓకే, this is nucleus tractus solitarius. This is for what? Taste. NTS for taste. Okay, this is hypoglossal. This is nucleus ambiguous, formed with the cranial nerve 9 and 10. Nucleus ambiguous. This is the nucleus ambiguous, formed by cranial nerve 9 and 10. This part is very, very important. Why? Because they will give you this image and they will ask you lateral medullary, which of the following is true about the lateral medullary syndrome, which of the following is true about the medial medullary syndrome. And stroke syndrome in final year MBBS examination, general medicine clinical practical, definitely you will be అది హెమిప్లీజియా కేసు ఒకటి పెడతారు. దట్ మే బి స్ట్రోక్ సిండ్రోమ్ స్వెబర్ సిండ్రోమ్ కానీ లేకపోతే నార్మల్ ఎంసీఏ డివిజన్ ఏదైనా ఎఫెక్ట్ ఎలా పెట్టచ్చు, లేదనుకుంటే ప్యూర్ సెన్సరీ స్ట్రోక్ లాటరల్ మెడులరీ సిండ్రోమ్ పెట్టచ్చు. అంటే వీక్నెస్ ఏమి ఉండదు పేషెంట్ కి, ఓన్లీ సెన్సరీ సింటమ్స్ ఏ ఉంటాయి. డ్యూ టు ఇన్వాల్వ్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ స్పైనల్ న్యూక్లియస్ క్రేనియల్ నర్వ్స్ ఎఫెక్ట్ అయ్యి ఉంటాయి. అంటే వీక్నెస్ ఒక్కటే ఉండదు లాటరల్ మెడులరీ సిండ్రోమ్. So at least remember the spinal. Why I'm focusing? Please remember spinal nucleus and tracts. See, everyone is leaving. Roll number 143 left now. Spinal nucleus and tract. This is solitary nucleus, right? This is solitary. Nucleus tractus solitarius. And this is dorsal motor nucleus of cranial nerve 10 vagus. This is nucleus ambiguous formed by 9 and 10. Okay. This we already learned. This is pyramid and all-right nucleus. So this is the transverse section. See, transverse section. Transverse section means this is the transverse section. This is longitudinal section. This is ventral. This is dorsal. So transverse section. See, this is medial nucleus gracialis, lateral nucleus cuneatus. Okay, what is this? Pyramidal decussation. See, lower part of the medulla, corticospinal tract, decussation, lower part of the medulla, opposite side crossing. Okay, and this is the reticular formation. See, this is the lateral spinothalamic tract, spinal cord. Here there is spinal cord. From spinal cord lateral spinothalamic tract coming to the opposite side, from left side to right side. And this is the spinothalamic tract. This is the spinothalamic tract. Okay, this is the spinal tract, spinal nucleus of trigeminal nerve. See, fifth nerve nucleus, spinal nucleus of the trigeminal nerve. This is the spinal nucleus of the trigeminal nerve. Remember, this is spinal nucleus of the trigeminal nerve. Corticospinal tract. This is the lateral corticospinal tract, right? This is the lateral corticospinal tract. 80% lateral corticospinal tract. Okay, this is the reticular formation. And this is the lateral spinothalamic tract. Okay, this is the lateral. Spinal tract. Okay. See here, this is the medial lemniscus. Remember, this is the medial lemniscus. Okay. See, transverse section, sensory decussation, NTS, nucleus tractus solitarius, face, dorsal nerve vagus, hypoglossal nucleus. Hypoglossal is medial, 9, 10, 11 are lateral, 9 and 10 are lateral. Hypoglossal is medial, nucleus gracialis, nucleus cuneatus. Okay, spinal nucleus and tractotrigeminal. Everything will be asked in the examination. At the level of all nucleus from medial to lateral side, hypoglossal nucleus, medial to lateral. Remember, this is the medial to lateral. Hypoglossal nucleus, nucleus intercalatus, dorsal nucleus of the vagus and vestibular nuclei. Okay, nucleus tractus solitarius, nucleus ambiguous. The transverse section of the medulla just inferior to the pons. Okay, not that much important. This is the functions of medulla oblongata. Blood supply of medulla. Vertebral artery is the main supply. Okay, right. Vertebral artery is the main supply, and posterior inferior cerebral artery is the branch of. Posterior inferior cerebral artery is the branch of which artery?
Vertebral, sir. Vertebral.
Okay. So vertebral artery has 4 segments, V1, V2, V3, V4. The 4th segment courses upward to join other vertebral artery to form the basilar artery, right? So two vertebral arteries form the basilar artery. Okay. So this basilar artery is giving posterior cerebral artery. Okay, this vertebral artery is giving posterior cerebral artery, and posterior communicating artery is from the branch of internal carotid artery. Low circular bill is inferior part. So only V4 gives rise to branches that supply the brainstem and cerebellum. So pica is the branch of V4 segment, right? Remember, pica is the branch of V4 segment. The pica in its proximal segment supplies M. Sandip as left. Okay, the pica in its proximal segment supplies the lateral part and its distal part, the inferior surface of the cerebellum, right? So lateral medullary syndrome, main artery affected is vertebral artery. Summary: posterior cerebral artery is affected. If the vertebral artery was not given the option, posterior cerebral artery is affected. It also supplies the cerebellum and lateral part of the medulla. This is the medullary syndromes. This is from Harrison, right? Harrison Principles of Internal Medicine. This is not 18th edition actually. This image was I took from Google actually, but 20th edition also gave this image only. Okay. See, this is what is this cerebellum? The CT or MRI? This is CT or MRI? CT na MRI అనేది ఎక్కువ స్ట్రక్చర్స్ కనిపిస్తున్నాయి కదా, ఎక్కువ స్ట్రక్చర్స్ అందరూ కనిపిస్తాయి, సిటీలోనే ఎంఆర్ఐలోనా? This is MRI, right? So this is pyramid. This is 12th cranial nerve. 12th cranial nerve is hypoglossal, that is medial. This is olive, right? This is 10th cranial nerve. See, this is the restiform body. Restiform body. This is the 12th cranial nerve nucleus. 12th nucleus. This is 12, right? 12th nucleus, 12th cranial nerve, 10th cranial nerve, and 9 plus 10 nucleus ambiguous. This is 9 plus 10 nucleus ambiguous. Nuclei, 10th cranial nerve. Okay. This is spinocerebellar tract. This is spinocerebellar tract. This is ventral. This is dorsal. Spinocerebellar tract. This is 5th cranial nerve, nuclei, spinal tract. Okay. This is the transverse section. This is the spinal tract of 5th cranial nerve. This is 10th. This is nucleus ambiguous. What is the importance of this slide? What is the importance of this slide? Medullary syndromes. See, with medulla, we will end this topic today. We will discuss lateral medullary syndrome and medial medullary syndrome, and we will end the session today. So see, nothing. This pink colored is medial medulla. This whole is lateral medulla. So medial medulla affected. So medial medullary syndrome, what is affected? 12th cranial nerve is affected. Pyramid is affected. Okay. Lateral medullary syndrome, no pyramid is affected. No corticospinal tract is affected. Only 10th cranial nerve, nucleus ambiguous, and this descending sympathetic tract. Descending sympathetic tract means what? C8T1, sympathetic tract. What is the function? What is the clinical features if sympathetic tract is involved? What is the function of sympathetic tract? What is the function of sympathetic system? Okay. So lateral medullary syndrome. See, 5th cranial nerve. 5th cranial nerve is trigeminal nucleus, right? 5th cranial nerve, trigeminal. 5th is trigeminal. Okay. So what are the divisions of trigeminal? Ophthalmic, maxillary, mandibular, right? See, this is the ophthalmic is to the tip of the nose. Ophthalmic, maxillary, mandibular. Ophthalmic, maxillary, mandibular. Tip of the nose is supplied by ophthalmic, not maxillary. Okay. Ophthalmic, maxillary, mandibular. So pain, numbness, and impaired sensation for one half of the face due to the involvement of 5th cranial nerve nucleus. As we have discussed, the spinal tract nucleus of 5th cranial nerve is in the lateral part of the medulla. So lateral part of the medulla is affected. Pain, numbness, impaired sensation for one half of the face is affected, right? So ataxia is due to the restiform body. Restiform body is affected. I have focused you. I have shown you the restiform body. So this restiform body is affected. So this ataxia. The lesion in the restiform body ataxia. Nystagmus, diplopia, vertigo, nausea, vomiting. Vestibular nucleus. Vestibular, eighth granular nucleus. If eighth is involved, you will get nystagmus, right? And vertigo. Nystagmus and vertigo, eighth granular nerve affected. Vestibulocochlear nerve. Okay. Horner syndrome. See, sympathetic tract involvement, sympathetic division. What are the contents of Horner syndrome? Contents of Horner syndrome. Contents means what are the clinical features of Horner syndrome? Dilatation of the pupil or constriction of the pupil?
Ptosis.
Ptosis, anhydrosis, meiosis or mydriasis. Meiosis, sympathetic tract. Sympathetic tract is involved. See, what are the features of atropine poisoning? Okay, what are the features of organophosphorus poisoning? What are the clinical features of organophosphorus poisoning? What is the treatment for OP poisoning? Pharmacology, forensic medicine. So dysphagia, paralysis of parrot, vocal cord, diminished gag reflex that is due to 9th and 10th nerves. Okay. So these are the lesions, clinical features of lateral medullary syndrome on the side of the lesion. This is towards the side of the lesion. If left side lateral medulla is affected, these are the lesion on the side of the lesion. We will see pain, numbness on left side of the face, ataxia left side, nystagmus left eye, Horner syndrome, meiosis left eye, dysphagia, paralysis of the parrot left side. Okay. Loss of taste, this is very rare due to involvement of nucleus tractus solitarius, nucleus cuneatus and brachialis, numbness. That is due to sensory involvement. Nucleus cuneatus, nucleus brachialis, weakness of the lower face due to the ipsilateral facial nucleus is affected. On the opposite side, spinothalamic tract. I have shown you the spinothalamic tract, opposite side. So contralateral pain and temperature loss. On the opposite side, if lateral part, left side, medulla affected, left lateral medullary syndrome, right side clinical features are pain, numbness, impaired sensation for one of the face, ataxia over the left side, nystagmus left eye, meiosis left eye, dysphagia, paralysis of the parrot left side. That is difficult to identify, right? Dysphagia and paralysis of the parrot actually, and weakness of the lower face left side, contralateral, pain and temperature loss. Okay, opposite side due to involvement of spinothalamic tract. So medial medullary syndrome or Deserine syndrome. DNB question. Deserine syndrome is medial medullary syndrome. Remember, Deserine syndrome is medial medullary syndrome. Deserine-Rosai syndrome. Deserine ROUSSY. Deserine-Rosai. If Rosai is given, that is due to involvement of thalamus, right? Deserine syndrome is medial medullary syndrome. Deserine-Rosai syndrome is due to the involvement of thalamus. Remember, okay? So on the side of the lesion, 12th granular, medial, 12th, hypoglossal. So hypoglossal paralysis with atrophy of off of the tongue, right? Opposite side of the lesion, paralysis of the arm and legs, sparing the face. Why? Because 5th granular, 7th granular nucleus is not affected. Impaired and 5th granular nucleus is also not affected. Impaired tactile and proprioceptive sense for one of the body due to the involvement of the medial lemniscus. Medial lemniscus proprioception loss. Okay, pons we will discuss in the next session. Thank you. So today we have discussed the medulla part, anatomy, and we have discussed all the nuclei, nucleus tractus solitarius, spinal tract of chief sensory nucleus fifth, nucleus tractus solitarius, nucleus ambiguous. We have discussed the images, right? And what is lateral medullary syndrome? What is medial medullary syndrome? We have discussed. And midbrain syndrome we have memorized. That's it. Thank you. Please revise. Thank you. Any doubts, any queries? Please mail me or please WhatsApp me, right? Any doubt, any queries, right? And you can give me reviews, and if any improvement is there, we can improve, right? Thank you.